Week 6 of the 2016 Florida high school football season is underway, and we have a huge matchup on tap tonight. Live from Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida, the 1-3 Riverdale Raiders take on their Class 7A District 12 rivals, the 2-3 Gulf Coast Sharks. Thank you all for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network on this wonderful Friday night. This is Nick Rush giving you the call on a game that is such a huge deal that it is being referred to as a playoff game by both of the head coaches of the two teams. A victory puts either team just one win away from the Class 7A District 12 title, and it certainly is a big deal to play this game tonight because as of right now, kickoff is just moments away, and it's 10:04 p.m. Eastern Time. We have had a 2-hour-and-a-half lightning delay. Not a single drop of rain has came down here at Riverdale High School. But at the end of the day, hey, we have football. There's the kick, and we are underway. The boot comes from Gulf Coast kicker Nate Elgin, who boots it through the back of the Raider end zone. That's going to be a touchback as the Riverdale offense will start the game with the ball at their own 20-yard line as they move from left to right across your computer screen. Gulf Coast will run from right to left here in quarter number 1. So it's nice to finally have some high school football action on tap. And during that delay, there was a large amount of speculation on whether this game was going to be actually played tonight. If that was not the case, it would be moved to either tomorrow morning, which is Saturday, or Monday night. But hopefully, lightning stays away from the campus of Riverdale, and we will play this game right here, right now. There's your first play of scrimmage. Starting quarterback Daniel Ulmer comes out for the Riverdale Raiders, and Malcolm Spencer is going to get the opening carry, a gain of about 5 as he runs it down the center of the field. That makes it second and about 5 to go. Shotgun formation here for Daniel Ulmer. Spencer off to his left side. Ulmer drops back to the 15, throwing to the near sidelines, and that's going to be incomplete, intended to Malcolm Spencer. Right into his hands and right back out as the ball one hops onto the Raider sidelines, which is off to the near side of my broadcast position, the Gulf Coast Sharks. They are tending to the benches off to the far end of the football field. 11 minutes and 22 seconds left to play here in your first quarter. Riverdale offense has been starting this regulation period. Thank you all for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network. Nick Rush giving you the call for some late night football. Assuming we play the remainder of this football game tonight, I guess you could call it Midnight Madness. There's a big stop on the play. Spencer was on the carry. That was third down. And as a result, it's a 3-and-out for the Riverdale Raiders. 2 handoffs to Malcolm Spencer and an incomplete pass to Malcolm Spencer. Makes it 4th down for the Raiders. Riverdale deep in their own zone. They're going to punt the ball away. It's going to be Daniel Ulmer with the kick. So the quarterback getting some kicking experience out there on the field. Ball slowly but surely wobbles back to the 45-yard line. So Gulf Coast, they get a nice part of the field here to start the offensive drive right in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. And this is a nice opportunity for them to draw first blood very early on. Ball will be at the 44 to be exact.
41.
Fans filing into their seats here at Karl Engel Field. Plenty of fans have actually left. They were frustrated due to the large amount of lightning delays that we have had here in Southwest Florida, so they cleared out, but many fans have stayed around because they want to watch some great high school football action. You really do have to give them credit for that. On the carry was number 8, Diego Gutierrez. Gain of 2 on the play. Here's a pass off to the near side. That ball is going to be reeled in by Carson Janelle. And that's going to be a first down, Sharks. Starting quarterback for Gulf Coast is going to be number 16, Caden Frost. He is a junior at Gulf Coast High School, 6'2". And he's off to a very nice, smooth start. Every play thus far here on the Gulf Coast inaugural offensive drive has been in the shotgun formation. Here's the carry by Gutierrez running up the far side. He is going to get a nice amount of yard gainage on the play as he's pulled up just short of the first down marker. Maybe out of play, but there is a flag before he is stopped. Ball will be laid at the Riverdale 35-yard line. And it appears that was a penalty against Gulf Coast. And that is the case, as it is going to be a holding call, according to the officials. So it's going to be 20 yards to go, 1st and 20 to be exact, as the Sharks will redo first down. Here's a screen off to the near side. Intended to George Tekex, and that is another incomplete pass. Well, it's a late night here at Riverdale High School. Very exciting action on tap. These two teams, they're tired of waiting. They've been in the locker room for almost 3 hours, so it has to feel good to finally just get out here, have that opening kickoff, and also just see many fans stick around to watch this ball game. Here's a successful throw up the right side as that wide receiver was wide open. And let's see if the chain gang is going to call it a first down. They will not. It's 2nd and just short, as George Tekex was the intended receiver yet again on the play. Rolling up the far sideline to about the 20-yard line where he was laid out. And now here's a carry up the far side, and is that a touchdown? Right now the Gulf Coast benches are celebrating, but that's not going to be the case. Diego Gutierrez was on the carry yet again, just hustling up across the 5-yard line and eventually towards the goal line, where Gulf Coast believed that they had scored the game's first touchdown. That's not the case, however, it is 1st and goal. So starting quarterback Caden Frost is in the shotgun formation. Gutierrez off to his right side. Gutierrez with the carry, and touchdown Gulf Coast. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in your first quarter, and Gulf Coast draws first blood as Diego Gutierrez comes up with the first score of the ball game, looking very confident out there in the running back position. As a result of the 6 points for Gulf Coast, out comes their kicker, number 18, Nate Elgin, a senior on the Gulf Coast squad, kicking off of the right foot. It's booted up, and that is way good. He absolutely, no, actually, it's brushed wide. Unbelievable. Well, he got a nice leg behind that ball, I will tell you that, and visually from my broadcast position, it looked as if it went in between the uprights. However, that's not the case. Officials rule it wide left, and it's still 6-0. So Nate Elgin can't capitalize on the PAT, but Diego Gutierrez puts Gulf Coast on top, 6-0 with 8:40 left here in your first quarter. We'll be back with more Riverdale football right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Nate Elgin, the Gulf Coast kicker, is ready to boot the kickoff at the Gulf Coast 40-yard line as we get back to action. 8 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the first as Gulf Coast leads 6-0. This is going to be a squib up to around the 50-yard line, far sideline in front of the Gulf Coast benches. And it appears that Riverdale has control. And that is going to be the case. There was a big dog pile of players out there. It took the officials a few seconds to determine who had the ball, but Riverdale has control right at midfield. And with this being their second drive of the game, offensively, let's see if they can have better luck after that first 3 and out. Right now there's a lot of attention being placed on the bands. We will tell you in just a few moments why the bands of these two schools are so special. Here's Malcolm Spencer with the carry. I formation for the quarterback, Danny Ulmer. He has stopped right on the line of scrimmage for the stoppage. It's 2nd and 10. Well, Gulf Coast, they have one heck of a band out there as they are lined up on the sidelines, and they have over 300 band members. That is absolutely unbelievable. They are wrapping around the track outside of the football field. Now here at Riverdale, the band consists of, I'm not sure of the exact number, I would say around 50 people, maybe a little bit more. 300 for Gulf Coast is an entirely different story. There is an offsides call here going against the Sharks defense. A defensive lineman jumped across the line of scrimmage for the offsides call. That makes it 2nd and 5 for the Riverdale Raiders. So it truly is a sight to see such a large band come out here. Typically, those Collier County bands, they have huge numbers when it comes to the band programs. Pass up the far side. That wide receiver on the play was Roy Alexander. He is stopped 2 yards shy of the first down marker. Another 3rd down situation again for the Raiders. And Collier County, from what I have heard, it is a requirement to either take an art class or a band class as a student. So a lot of people, they prefer to be a part of the marching band, and that's the reason why this band is so large. Now here in Lee County, which is where Riverdale High School is located, it is not a requirement to be in the band. It's 4th down as Spencer comes up with yet another short gain. This Gulf Coast defense, they keep denying this running back, Malcolm Spencer. And he's usually a great, reliable guy out there in the running back position that can really find gaps in the line of scrimmage. However, it doesn't seem like that's the case very early on here. 6:35 left now here in the first. 6-0 score. Gulf Coast over Riverdale. Still a one-possession game. Ulmer in the shotgun. 4th down. Riverdale is going to go for it. Spencer has it, and he's laid out. Just across the 45-yard line, he tried running it up the gut. Didn't work out, and there's Gulf Coast getting the ball yet again. Riverdale still can't get their opening points up on the board. There is an official's timeout for a water break coming up here, so Riverdale and Gulf Coast will head to the benches and quickly get hydrated. As of right now, we're still in the halfway stages of your first quarter. It's 10:18 p.m. here at Riverdale High School, and we have a nice game going on. Nice crowd. This is going to be one heck of an atmosphere. You can hear the fans in the background. Cheerleaders are here. Bands are here. It's really going to be a great night. We were talking about this up here in the press box during the delay. You almost have to feel bad for some of those people that reside in the Riverdale community, because you have houses not so far away from the school and the football field, so they're probably catching all of this tonight. They can hear it all from the house. So with Gulf Coast getting the ball back offensively, Caden Frost, the quarterback, comes back out and shotgun formation, awaits to snap at the 40. Rush going up to Gutierrez. Nice solid gain of about 8 on the play. Down the center of the field he races, and it's 2nd down. Well, we mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast how this game is being referred to as a playoff contest by both of the head coaches of these teams. As we mentioned that, let's take a look at the division standings and how all three teams are holding up in the rankings right after this play. Shotgun again, play action pass here for Frost. Far side pass is connected down to the 30, 25-20. Coming up with an impressive catch is George Takacs. Gets down to around the 20-yard line, and this Gulf Coast bench, they are feeling alive. They're enjoying how the team is performing thus far, breaking down this Riverdale defense. Well, ever since the start of the season, the South Fort Myers Wolfpack have proudly sat in the number 1 seed as they come into the week with a bye and an undefeated 5-0 ranking. Here's a carry inside the 10-yard line as Gutierrez gets his hands on the ball yet again. That is just going to barely be called a first down, as the ball is just barely inside the 10-yard line. Gulf Coast is looking for their second touchdown of the night. Since South Fort Myers is on their bye week, this game that you are listening to right now between Riverdale and Gulf Coast is the only one that is occurring in the division. Right now, Gulf Coast on the offense, they are calling a timeout. This is their first of the opening half of play right now. Head coach Pete Fomanea, he has to be happy with how the team has been performing. Once again, getting past the defense, making things happen as the timeout comes with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left in the first. 6-0 score, an advantage of Gulf Coast. Well, Gulf Coast, they are just barely holding on to the number 2 slot with 2 wins and 3 losses on the season, while Riverdale is in last place, winning once out of their 4 games played thus far this season. Both teams are looking a bit shaky in the 2016 record books coming into tonight's ball game, but the winner by the end of the night will have a nice chance of clinching the district championship. So if there is a time to turn things around for the better if you are on either one of these teams, then tonight is the night. Riverdale is searching for their first playoff berth since 2010, while Gulf Coast is looking to visit the postseason for the second consecutive year. Here's a pass to the end zone down the center of the field, and that is a touchdown, Gulf Coast. Getting in his hands was Carson Janelle. He is a wide receiver and tight end on the offensive line for Gulf Coast, a 6'5" senior, and he was wide open out there in the middle of the end zone. As a result, it's 12-0 Gulf Coast, 5:07 left in quarter number 1. Out comes the Gulf Coast kicker, Nate Elgin, and it appears that they are going to go for 2, believe it or not. So Nate Elgin, the Gulf Coast kicker, will remain on the sidelines. Here comes a 2-point conversion. There's a whistle prior to the snap, and Caden Frost is going to throw it away to the end zone. This is going to be a flag, as a penalty marker was thrown up the far side. It is going to be an offsides penalty going against the Gulf Coast offense. A 5-yard penalty that will dash Gulf Coast back to the 7-yard line. It appears that the Sharks are going to continue in their quest to successfully convert on the 2-point conversion. Back in the gun all by himself is Frost. Play action, throws it away in frustration, far side, incomplete pass. Great job there by the Riverdale defense for making the stop on the 2-point conversion. However, they are down in a 2-possession game. It's 12-0, 5:07 once again remaining here in quarter number 1. More Raider football on the way right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Karl Engel Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. 5 minutes and 7 seconds or what is left here in the first quarter. It's 12-0 Gulf Coast over Riverdale. With the kick was Nate Elgin there for Gulf Coast, and Roy Alexander comes up with the return for Riverdale. However, he will be stopped near the 10-yard line, dashing it down the center of the field. Riverdale 0 for 2 offensively here in the first quarter when it comes to putting points on the board. It started with a 3 and out, and then a turnover on downs the second try. So despite the rocky start here for the Riverdale Raiders, they are hoping to get into the swing of things as the first quarter lives on. Ulmer back in a shotgun formation, rush going to Spencer. Spencer is going to be laid down right at the line of scrimmage. As he put his head down, ran it down the center of the field, that makes it 2nd and 10. I guess you could call it midnight madness, now trickling down to the 10:25 p.m. marker here in Southwest Florida, and we're not even through the first quarter. Nick Rush giving you the call, saying thank you so much for joining us here late at night and listening to some great football.
That's a good man.
Ulmer back yet again, awaits the snap at the 10, drops back at the 5, throws down the center of the field. That is going to be overthrown past the hands of the intended receiver, Rory Alexander, on the play, who is dashing his way down the near sideline. Down number 3 has already visited the Riverdale Raiders. They're just absolutely struggling with the passing game right now, as Daniel Ulmer can't seem to find anybody downfield. And when they try to go to their main running back, Malcolm Spencer, he's getting roughed up. So eventually, Riverdale, they're either going to have to learn to sink or swim past this difficult and diligent Gulf Coast defense. Ulmer, shotgun formation, back at the goal line, pass to Roy Alexander, near sideline. Correction, that's Malcolm Spencer. Past the 10-yard line, he is tackled at around the 14-yard line. Malcolm Spencer has some words exchanged with a few Gulf Coast players there, but that is going to quickly subside as the officials get in the way of it.
I like this dude. You funny.
So it's 4th down. Daniel Ulmer back to punt it again. This time he's back at the goal line. Gulf Coast, you can tell they are upbeat right now. They're just having a good time out there. Caught off the fly at around the 25 to the 20. And right now, fans are upset because that player signaled for a fair catch. Caden Cecil was on the return. The officials did not notice it. And I will admit, I had my head down at the time. I did not see him actually put his hand in the air and signal for the fair catch. However, I know that's definitely what the fans were protesting about. And I guess you could say Cecil got the better deal out of it, as he gets to the 15-yard line on the Riverdale end. Play action by Frost. Throw down across the 5-yard line. And was it caught? I believe it was, and that's the case. That was number 3, Connor Janelle, coming up with the reception. He gets back to the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver up the far end. He was wide open down there at the 5, lost his balance after making the catch, rush into the end zone. Let's see if the official signal for a touchdown. That's going to be the case. Yet another one comes on the way from Diego Gutierrez, and it's now 18-0. Here in the first quarter, it's looking like a beatdown from the early start. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left here in the first. My goodness, something has got to give here for Riverdale. Well, Nate Elgin coming up with the PAT on the way. There's a penalty marker as he sends the kick up, and they're going to have to redo it all over again right here as someone crossed the line of scrimmage. Let's see if it was an offensive penalty or defensive penalty. It is going to be against Gulf Coast as the ball is dragged back to the 7 once again. Gulf Coast kicker Nate Elgin. He is 9 for 12 on extra point attempts on the season. He is 6 for 6 on field goals. He's 0 for 1 on the night. Let's see if he can make his second attempt. That's way outside. Shy off to the right. So he goes 0 for 2 on today, Nate Elgin. But it doesn't matter. Gulf Coast, they're taking it away early. It's 18-0. 2:52 left here in your first. Midnight Madness. It continues here on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network in just moments. You can hear the Gulf Coast Sharks school band proudly playing in the distance, and they have a reason to be excited. It's 18-0 in their favor. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the opening portion of play. Roy Alexander back to return the kick from Nate Elgin to the 20-yard line. He is going to bring it down the center of the field. So it seems like when Riverdale cannot convert offensively, the Gulf Coast offense takes over and they say, let us show you how it's done, as they have scored 18 thus far here in quarter number 1. In my honest opinion, no matter what the score is, I'm just glad that we have football here at Karl Engel Field on the campus of Riverdale High School. This game began just shortly around 10 p.m. after a 2-hour-and-a-half lightning delay. Game originally was slated for a 7:30 p.m. start time. Daniel Ulmer tosses it far side. That wide receiver lost his balance. Looks like he barely just had enough for the catch, as reeling it in was Dante Quintella. Second down and 4 to go for the Riverdale Raiders. Daniel Ulmer back into shotgun formation. The senior quarterback enters his second season as the varsity football quarterback, and he shows a reason why he should be the leader of the varsity football team. A fake handoff to Spencer throws off the Gulf Coast defense. It's a quarterback keeper there for Ulmer, getting it past the 50-yard line, dashing his way up the far side. First down Raiders, and they are now in enemy territory. Ulmer showing his quick feet on the play. He truly is a guy that has the best of both worlds. Catch up at the 35, center of the field. That wide receiver quickly gets roughed up to the ground. Wide receiver was once again Roy Alexander. And right now you see the Riverdale offense beginning to adapt to the tough conditions that are being applied here by the Gulf Coast defense. 1 minute, 40 seconds left in the first. 18-0, Riverdale is trailing. Here is Spencer with the carry. Far right side. He breaks a tackle, gets a gain of about 4 on the play. It's a Riverdale second down. It's time to tell you about the head coaches of these two teams. The head coach of the Sharks is Pete Fomenea, who has been the leader of this Gulf Coast program since 2012. He comes to Riverdale tonight with a career record of 19 wins and 25 losses as the head coach of the Sharks. As usual, Tom Roselle is the main coach of the Riverdale club, as the coach is in his 4th season with RHS, and he enters the night with a career record of 20 wins and 16 losses in his history with Riverdale once again. 40-yard line, Ulmer throws it up to Alexander across the 25 to the 20, center of the field. There's a Riverdale first down. Roy Alexander looking sharp out there as a wide receiver, getting open downfield and just making things happen to pick up the fresh new sets of downs on the play. 37 seconds left off a rolling clock, quarter number 1. Ulmer right now rearranging the Riverdale offensive line as they get the no huddle going. Shotgun for Ulmer. Seems like I've been saying that for almost this entire first quarter. And there's Spencer getting his hands on the ball right away. He gets a hard hit from the Gulf Coast defense. And now let's see if Riverdale on second down is going to go for one last play here in quarter number 1. It looks like that's not going to be the case. It was a quick first quarter of play, but it was ugly as well. 18-0 is your score and advantage of the Gulf Coast Sharks. Well, Riverdale on the offense. They have the ball in enemy territory, hoping to draw first blood. We'll see if they can get it going right after this from Riverdale High School in Southwest Florida. We are back after a break, and we are underway for your quarter number 2, a play between the Riverdale Raiders and the Gulf Coast Sharks. Sharks on top by an 18-0 score as Riverdale resumes their offensive drive at second down. Ball at the Gulf Coast 20 as Riverdale moves from right to left across their computer screen. And Gulf Coast defense will start the quarter with an offsides call. That's a 5-yard violation that will move Riverdale up. Second down and 7 to go. It doesn't matter whether you're a player on Gulf Coast or Riverdale. Through such a crazy atmosphere, it has to be just unbelievable when you're out there. There's a lot of pressure. You may not be able to properly communicate with your fellow teammates and your coaches. So let's see if Daniel Ulmer and even Caden Frost of the Gulf Coast offense will adjust to the noise. Shotgun snap. There's Spencer. He's been a name that has been mentioned all throughout the first quarter, and I believe that's going to continue as we head into the second. Third down now for Riverdale, as that was a 2-yard gain on the play. Ball across the 20-yard line. So if Riverdale can't convert on third down, it makes you wonder what they're going to do for fourth down, whether they're going to kick a field goal or go for it. They're very close to the uprights at the moment, so it just seems like the right thing to do when it comes to kicking and getting those 3 points up on the board. Points aren't easy in the game of football, but let's see. After all, Riverdale is down by 18, so let's see what they do. They don't have to worry. It's a Riverdale touchdown. Deshaun Lane comes up with the 6 points to put Riverdale up on the board. He is a junior wide receiver, 5'10". He's able to wrestle past a Gulf Coast defenseman. And it's now an 18-6 score. 11:15 to go in quarter number 2. Out to kick the ball is J.P. D'Alessandro. Kick is up. Is the kick good? It came very close to the far upright, and it is going to be called successful. It's 18-7. Riverdale still has a lot of work to do if they hope to come back from this deficit. We'll see if they can get something going on the defense after this break. Live from Riverdale High School and Fort Myers, Florida, you are listening to the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Riverdale kicker J.P. D'Alessandro is back to boot this kickoff from the Riverdale 40. 11:15 is what remains here in your second quarter. As Riverdale trails by an 18-7 score just moments ago, they were able to put their opening points of the game up on the board, courtesy of a reception from Deshaun Lane, the wide receiver. There's some physicality after this kickoff return from Roy Alexander. A penalty marker is going to be pulled here. Officials come together for a discussion. At this point, it is 10:42 p.m., and that's something you'll be hearing all throughout the course of the ball game. We've had a nice long delay. These fans, they have been waiting all night long just to watch this game of football. That shows you how loyal that these fans are. I mean, they paid for their $6 admission, so they want to wait. They want to see some great talent on hand here today. That's going to be a penalty against Gulf Coast. And right now, these Riverdale fans are fired up. They know their team is down by multiple drives. However, they're not letting that affect their environment of the game. These fans are clapping along with the band. They're having a great time. You really do have to admire just the loyalty of what they call Raider Nation. As a result of the penalty, Gulf Coast will start their offensive drive at their own 10-yard line. Here in the second quarter, Gulf Coast runs from left to right across your computer screen. Riverdale moves the opposite way from right to left. Caden Frost back in the shotgun formation. Gutierrez off to his left side. Gutierrez with the carry. Center of the field. He immediately hits his knee down on the turf with a gain of about 1. And some more pushing and shoving is going to ensue after the play. And of course, there's physicality. Why would you not expect that? These are two physical teams. The Riverdale defense especially, they are a hard-hitting team. They're really not afraid to lower the boom on any player out there if they have the ball in their hands. This is a very hungry team. They want to get out there and play some football. So when you hold them back for almost 3 hours, you can expect them to hit hard. Right now, it appears that there is a penalty marker. Gutierrez with yet another carry and another short gain. It's possible that this next one may be a false start, this next penalty. That is going to be the case. Ball will be backed up 5 yards for Gulf Coast. And second down is going to be replayed. I cannot keep my eyes off of that Gulf Coast band. Once again, they are 300 members strong. And the visiting section of Karl Engel Field, which is off to the far sideline of my broadcast position. So I'm looking right at it from my broadcast position. They take up 2 entire sections. It's almost like a battle of the bands right now. A Riverdale band, they're trying to get into it. It's all in good fun, however. Here's a pass down right side. That wide receiver, it appeared that maybe he hit the ground, but the officials say the ball was in his hands. Full possession. First down for Brandon Nova. It will not be a first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1 to be exact. Seems like that's been a reoccurring theme throughout the course in this first half of play. 9:39 remaining here in your first half. 18-7, Gulf Coast lead over Riverdale. But there have been plenty of wide receivers, whether it's Riverdale on the offense or Gulf Coast on the offense. Both teams seem to have men just streaking down the sidelines. They're all by themselves, and they're coming up with some nice gains. So after a little bit of consideration there in the review from the officials and the chain gang, it will be just enough for a first down. So fresh new set of downs here for Gulf Coast. Far end, wide receiver comes up with the catch. It appears that Shane Rodenbush was able to come up with the reel in. Down number 3 comes up, or excuse me, down number 2 that is, for the Gulf Coast Sharks. It's now time to take a look at your uniform description in this ball game. Riverdale, they're sporting their home garnet red uniforms. White script numbers on the front and back. White pants and the white helmets with the red script R on both sides. Gutierrez with the rush. And just a second later, he's running up the near side and he gets tripped up by the knee. 3rd and a little over 5 to go. On the other hand, you have the Gulf Coast Sharks sporting their road white uniforms. Black script numbers on the front and back. White pants and black helmets with no team logo on either side. So that's the description of these uniforms in tonight's ball game. Gulf Coast offense, they seem as if they are a bit confused. They're scrambling around on the line. Riverdale defense hoping to take advantage of that. Caden Frost talking with Gutierrez. Gutierrez now back behind Frost. Shotgun formation. Frost with a lateral to Gutierrez. He bobbles the ball. What a hard hit coming on the way from Connor Johnston of the Riverdale defense. Gulf Coast is going to recover as that was a 3-yard loss on the play, and a flag will be dropped after the big hit.
Don't give us no targeting.
A silence washes over Karl Engel Field, which is also known as Raiders Stadium, Right now the confusion still goes on here. This is going to be a foul against the Raiders. Fans certainly not too happy with that call. Ball will be moved up about 10 yards as it is going to be called an automatic first down for the Sharks. Ball at their own 35. Gulf Coast continues, slowly but surely making their way down the field. Gutierrez. Multiple touchdowns on the night. He comes up with an impressive carry. It's not enough for the first down, 2nd and 2, as he picks up 8 on the play. Tyrone Campbell will be credited with the tackle on the Riverdale defense, wasting no time getting to the ball carrier. Right now you have those enthusiastic Raider fans breaking out a "Let's Go Defense" chant in support of this Riverdale team. False start will be drawn up against Gulf Coast.
Come on. Give us another start. Get us another.
Thank you all for tuning in to this Class 7A District 12 rivalry matchup between the Riverdale Raiders and the Gulf Coast Sharks. This has been a game that was delayed all the way to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We have not seen anything like it thus far here in the 2016 season. However, we did get close. Nice catch being dragged in by Brandon Nova here. He is tackled by Andres Bartley at the center of the field at the 45. Still back in the Gulf Coast end. Well, week 1 of the regular season versus North Fort Myers. We had the same exact situation. Multiple lightning delays. There was no rain just like tonight. Game started at 10:09. Game ended at around 10:30. There was no official score as lightning continued to strike near the area. And officials and coaches, those two teams, Riverdale and North Fort Myers, they treated the game as if it did not even happen, as if it never existed. So it's not considered a tie. That's just an officially canceled game. Riverdale defense coming up with an impressive stop here. Gutierrez with the carry and Paul Johnson with the stop. 4th and 1. Take a look at this. Gulf Coast, they're still having their backs up against their own zone. They're going for the 4th down, and there is an offside call. Wow, that's costly right there. Riverdale defense got wrapped up in the excitement as they had multiple men cross the line of scrimmage. You need to work on things like that. That was a very costly and preventable timeout. It appears that Riverdale is going to be the one that calls the timeout after the penalty, so it's a first down Gulf Coast. And that Riverdale timeout comes with 5:30 left here before halftime. 18-7, Gulf Coast is the score. Wow, so what a ball game it's been, and I must say this has been a very quick, fast-paced first half of play.
I can hear whoever it was. Clock guy, I hear you.
Now, it's interesting if you want to talk about that Week 1 game versus North Fort Myers. That game was almost as physical as this one is. You had Deshaun Lane come up with a touchdown in that game, and Lane has came up with a score in this ball game as well. Both of those tallies were the first of the game for the Raiders. Shotgun snap. Handoff down the far sideline. That running back is taking off. It's Gutierrez. Takes him a few moments to get stopped up. It should be first down, assuming this penalty goes against the Riverdale defense. Oh, this is a sideline warning. And Riverdale is going to be the guilty party. So it appears that maybe some coaches or players, someone was leaning off of the sidelines onto the field.
It's not a foul, no yard.
So that's going to be a free play. And the placement of the ball is going to be treated as if there were no penalty at all. So it's going to be laid out at the 30-yard line. Gulf Coast on the enemy end. Up by 11. False start. Yet another one comes up for the Gulf Coast Sharks. Paul Johnson just went absolutely searing across the line of scrimmage there for Riverdale. He tried to lurch Caden Frost on the play. Ball gets back to the 38-yard line. Gulf Coast still in enemy territory. Right now, Frost is trying to read a play up the far end where the benches are. Now under 5 minutes left to play here until halftime. And there is going to be a delay of game call there. Well, it is going to be a timeout by Gulf Coast. That's their... Let's take a look at that. Very interesting. It was going down towards the delay of game. And then there was a timeout called. Right now, I believe the timeout was called just before the play clock ran out. So that was a nice strategy there by Gulf Coast. They were about to lose another 5. However, head coach for Gulf Coast, Pete Fomenea, called the timeout just before they were drawn up. So tricky play there, and Gulf Coast, they didn't even have their players in full possession. They were trying to read the play up on the sidelines by the coaching staff. Shotgun formation for Frost. Gutierrez off to his left side, drops back to the 45, downfield, and it's too far out. Down the center of the field was an intended receiver, and double coverage. Nice block there by Campbell of the Raider defense. And the man open downfield for Gulf Coast was Carson Janal. He could only get his right hand up in the air there, and it was way over his head. The ball trailed way over his head. He had absolutely no chance of getting to it. Second down and long. Pass to the 30 is going to be successfully brought in by Carson Janal. Nice tackle by Campbell. Campbell has been all over the Gulf Coast offense here in the first half of play, making tackles, making blocks, you name it. He is a very valuable player here with the Riverdale squad on the defense. Gulf Coast hoping to extend the 18-7 advantage, heading down towards the final portions of the second quarter. 3 minutes, 50 seconds, and there's a blow of the whistle by the officials. Timeout is called by the Riverdale Raiders. Both teams have called 2 timeouts. And right now, this is a very crucial drive here for the Riverdale defense. It seems like both the offense and defense has been starting to get a bit more comfortable here with the Gulf Coast team. They're starting to learn their style of play, and that's the reason why Riverdale is starting to get a bit more into the contest. They're holding back Gulf Coast, and the Sharks are having a more difficult time driving the ball down the field. They successfully brought it from one end to the other, but it's unsure at the moment on whether they can bring it in for a score. So both teams are back out on the field after the Riverdale timeout. Line change coming in here for Gulf Coast offensively. Richie DiMarzio, or excuse me, that's Launcini Kita coming out of the game as Diego Gutierrez steps back in after a brief break on the sidelines. Here's a pass down the center of the field to the 20-yard line. And that's a successful reception to Connor Janelle. Now, of course, you do have to remember not to get those two players mixed up. Number 3, Connor Janal, and number 10, Carson Janal. And they have both made some nice appearances offensively here in half number 1. And my goodness, what a huge hit there. Launcini Kita came up with the rush as he quickly gets back into the game as well. And Cole Schneider came through the line of scrimmage, absolutely knocked him down. He is an impressive man out there, quick on his feet. Cole Schneider, he's just a man of absolute brute force and power. It is something else watching him play. Shotgun snap back at the 30, screen, near side, incomplete pass there going to Diego Gutierrez. He can't reel it in. That's second down for Gulf Coast. It was just a simple pitch and catch there between Diego Gutierrez, the wide receiver, and the quarterback, Caden Frost. There was no defenseman that could break up the pass or even make a tackle. It was just a miscommunication as Caden Frost just put a bit too much mustard behind the throw, and that's what just messed up the play. 2nd and 10, and the lights have went out over at the baseball field. Wow, it looks a whole lot darker now here at Riverdale High School. Pass to the end zone. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Is it a touchdown? That's also a yes. I am at a loss for words at how Carson Janal has just been dominating out there offensively. He's in double coverage, center of the field, gets across the goal line as he's being tackled. And that's all she wrote. Your scoreboard now reads 24-7. 2 minutes and 55 seconds is what is left here until halftime. Well, we are at Karl Engel Field. Off to the far side, you have Pringle Field, which is the name of our baseball field. This kick, it looks good, but is it good? Yes, sir. So coming up with the PAT to seal the deal is Nate Elgin. Well, what I was trying to say is our baseball field is just back behind the visiting section here of the football field. They had the baseball lights on at the start of tonight's contest, but they recently shut them out here at Riverdale High School, just in the interest of saving energy, I assume. It was a little bit of a surprise to see, I will tell you that. So both teams switching the lines here now with under 3 minutes left to play. Gulf Coast fans are really making some noise out there in the visiting section. Right now, Riverdale fan section, they're silenced. This is a struggling Riverdale team. However, they have more than plenty of opportunities to score before we head into intermission. Elgin sets up the ball at the Gulf Coast 40-yard line. He will be kicking it away off of the right foot as he lines up the ball. Team is in formation. He boots it up. Nice high liner, end over end, going towards the goal line. Roy Alexander back for the return as usual. He is just going to watch that ball one hop out of play up against the far sidelines into the end zone. That's a Riverdale touchback as they will start their next drive at the 20-yard line. We are now into the 11 o'clock hour here in Fort Myers, Florida, and it is a party atmosphere at Riverdale High School. You will hear me mention that numerous times, but it's just amazing to see how nobody has given up on this game. I'm sure fans were frustrated prior to the contest because when you're in a lightning delay here in Lee County, you're not allowed to get into the stadium. We have metal bleachers, which can't possibly attract lightning. Media members are allowed up here in the press box. However, if you are a part of just a fan group, then you need to stay indoors in the Raider Rock gym and just wait out the delays. Right now, Riverdale High School, they're going to call a short timeout.
We got more band members than we got fans.
Football teams for cheering squad.
We got more football fans than more
But these
fans.
fans are out there loud and proud.
And some of them couldn't get in.
It's interesting. Us here in the press box, we were just absolutely blown away by that Gulf Coast band. You just cannot stop talking about them. They are phenomenal. 300 members strong, over 300 members for a matter of fact. They have more band members than fans at the moment. Ulmer, Riverdale quarterback, throws down the left wing side to the 50-yard line. It's an incomplete pass intended to Alexander. Second down for Riverdale at their own 20-yard line. So Riverdale breaks the huddle. They're ready to get back at it, hoping to drive it downfield. Still 2:49 left here in the second. Ulmer, shotgun snap, giving it off to Spencer, running far side. And he takes an absolute crushing blow at the 30-yard line. That now makes it third down. Timeout going to Gulf Coast. Smart decision here as right now the Riverdale offense, they are struggling and running out of downs at the moment. They're currently on third down, so Gulf Coast, it's smart for them to use that timeout. It'll save some time. So assuming Gulf Coast makes the stop defensively and Riverdale has to punt the ball away, Gulf Coast will get the ball back. They'll still have a fair amount of time to drive it downfield and just make this game out of control. 25-7 is what the scoreboard currently reads in Gulf Coast's favor. Gulf Coast back out on the field. It's always a nice opportunity when you get those stoppages in play to just re-energize. Because Gulf Coast, they are a team that just refuses to stop putting pressure down on the Riverdale offense. The Raiders, they are absolutely frustrated, you can tell. There's the snap. 10-yard line. Throw is intercepted. Yes, sirree. Gulf Coast has stolen the ball away. Snatching it was Adam Masterson. He got locked up there, it appeared, with Karl Simon. Those two men just jumped right all over the ball as Roy Alexander was hoping to get the ball. It was way out of his reach. But either way, Gulf Coast has it back. They have it at the Raiders 49, and this one could get ugly before intermission. Caden Frost. Shotgun snap. It's going to be carried away by Diego Gutierrez, the Gulf Coast running back who has been making a statement all throughout the course of this game. Down to the 45 he goes, center of the field. Looks like he picks up a gain of about 3 actually on the play. 2nd and 7. Both quarterbacks, Danny Ulmer for Riverdale and Caden Frost for Gulf Coast, they've both been in the shotgun formation all throughout the course of the game thus far. A nice carry on the play here from Launcini Kita of Gulf Coast, and he is pulled away just shy of the first down marker. 3rd and about 2. Ball across the Riverdale 45. We have now approached 90 seconds left to play here, and first half of action. Physicality coming, some pushing and shoving as Gulf Coast will gather together yet another first down. Kita with yet another rush. Now if Gulf Coast can get this in decent field goal formation, they can just tack on another 3 if they have some difficulty finding the end zone. If it's absolutely necessary, then they can go for that 3-pointer and feel very comfortable. Nice kickers on this Gulf Coast team. Thrown incomplete near side dasher to around the 10-yard line. The ball just bounced down barely in front of Carson Janal. He was wide open yet again. Carson Janal just knows how to get wide open. Got down towards his knees there, but the ball is just too shortly thrown there from Frost. Well, Nate Elgin has been doing a majority of the kicking for Gulf Coast thus far. However, I noticed prior to the game, number 50 for Gulf Coast, Sheriff Bennett, this is during warm-ups prior to the game, he was practicing kicking. He teed up the ball and everything. He was kicking from the 45-yard line, and he even sailed one in between the uprights. For the high school rankings, that is very impressive. And maybe Sheriff Bennett will get some kicking opportunities in the future. If not in this ball game. Incomplete pass down the near sideline, way ahead of any Gulf Coast receiver on the play. Down number 3 is here, and it's crunch time for the Sharks offense.
That's what we need to say to high here, coach. What are you doing? We need to say to high.
3 wide receivers lined up off to the right side of the quarterback Frost. Only one off to his left side. Pass down the middle of the field, and it's registered as a successful catch inside the 10-yard line. It's Cole Neese with an impressive catch. And afterwards, he was sandwiched in between 2 Raider defensemen. Under a minute left to play. Rolling clock down to 55 seconds. 25-7 is the score. Gulf Coast hoping to extend the lead. Can they do it right here? Incomplete. Wow, very close one on the play there. Carson Janal was the intended receiver on the play, just absolutely blazing his way down the near side. Pass was a bit too overthrown, and even if he did register the catch, he was running out of room. So very tricky play there for Janal. Wasn't able to get anything going. It's now 2nd down here for Gulf Coast. And right now there's an officials discussion going on at the line of scrimmage. Clock stopped with exactly 48 seconds left. This is a Raiders unsportsmanlike call. Now there's a Let's Go Gulf Coast call. A chant ringing all the way across Karl Engel Field. That shows you something about the school spirit of Gulf Coast. When they're starting up a Gulf Coast chant here at Riverdale, throw to the end zone, tipped away. Great defense there. This is looking like an offsides call against Riverdale. Tyrone Campbell got his left hand in there to block the pass away from Carson Janal. This is going to be second down as a result of the Raider defensive penalty. And offsides yet again. Ball right on the 10-yard line, placed at the center of the field in between the two hash marks. Ball stopped yet again at 44.6 left here in your second half. Caden Frost will break the snap for Gulf Coast. Shotgun snap, dashing off to his left side. He's looking. Does he get sacked? That is going to be the case. So Frost got caught up in the eye of the storm there, as it appeared that three different Riverdale defensemen was able to come up with the tackle, but the public address announcer here at Riverdale states that Cole Schneider was the one that came out with the official stop. And there is going to be a timeout on the play. Ball at the 15, Gulf Coast holding it. And the Riverdale end. 30.2 left to go here and your second quarter of play. I believe this is an official's timeout.
No, this is a regular timeout.
Okay. This is a regular timeout, excuse me there. And it is going to be Gulf Coast, so excuse me there. So once again, Gulf Coast calls a timeout. This is the right time to do exactly that. They have the ball deep in enemy possession. 30 seconds left to score to get this out of control. 25-7. Shotgun on the way. Gulf Coast fan section rising to their feet to the 25, end zone, touchdown, Gulf Coast. Once again, it's Carson Janal. This is not a Gulf Coast and Riverdale football game. This is the Carson Janal show. All night he has shown up in the end zone. Caden Frost capitalizes. It's the same area too. He just gets past the goal line.
Perfect defense.
Pitch and catch over the heads of the Riverdale defense. And it's now 31-7 with 22.7 left to go here in the second quarter. Nate Elgin, the kicker, sends this ball up, has plenty of leg behind it. It's good. And oh my goodness, folks, 32-7 is what the scoreboard reads. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll get the end of this second quarter and first half out of the way right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Everything has gone Gulf Coast way thus far here in the ball game. Left until halftime are 22 seconds. Gulf Coast ready to kick the ball off after getting another touchdown from Carson Janal. The play is going to be blown dead right after the kick was released from Nate Elgin. And it appears that they're going to redo the play here. Well, this first half has certainly been something to take in, whether you're a Gulf Coast fan or a Riverdale supporter. What a shocking first half this has been. So, my prediction was correct. There is going to be a re-kick here for Gulf Coast. Ball will be brought all the way back. This is actually going to be a penalty going against Gulf Coast. Excuse me there. So that's the reason for the stoppage of play. Once again, penalty on Gulf Coast. That will result in a re-kick from the 35 instead of the 40. Like your typical kickoff. Elgin set the kick. He's in motion. Off the right foot the ball goes. Right now, Riverdale, they just need to get straight to the locker room, get to the drawing board, get something going. Nice blocking there for Roy Alexander on the return. to the 25-yard line. That ball is going to be spotted in Raider territory. 14.7 stopped on the clock, and right now there's a man down for Gulf Coast. And you know what? It was the player that just got absolutely rocked.
You hit him in the stomach.
It's possible there may be a flag. There's some debate on whether this is a flag or not. I do not see any markers, but one thing is for sure, and this player is absolutely down. Riverdale, they're going to quickly take a knee on the sidelines to show some respect after that huge hit on the player. And he's going to be quickly back up on his feet. Wow, that player, he was shaken up, but he wasted no time getting back up, shaking off that tough hit that he received right after the kick. It was Ted Antoine, the man who got roughed up on the play. It looks like he just got the air knocked out of him as he was hit in the stomach there. So, sure enough, I'm sure that was the case, but he's quickly back up. Ball placed inside the Raider 20-yard line. You can predict Riverdale to just start throwing down that ball, throwing it downfield, hoping a miracle can happen. Right now, they're a far shot away from a comeback. It's looking like there's a possibility of a block in the back call as a result of that hit. And I believe that is going to be the case. It is a block in the back going against Riverdale. So ball will be backed behind the 15-yard line for the Raiders. It is going to be shotgun formation here for Daniel Ulmer. Spencer off to his left side. 3 wide receivers to his left. 1 to his right. Ulmer with the quarterback keeper. Stopped at the 15-yard line. And Riverdale is just going to roll down the clock from there. Wise decision. What a disastrous first half of play it's been for the Riverdale Raiders. 32-7 is your score. This game is a blowout. Gulf Coast, they're hyped up. They're hoping to extend the damage in any way, shape, or form that they can after that beatdown of a first half. Riverdale, they're just going to once again get back to the locker room, get to the chalkboard, drawing board, whatever it is. They need to get a plan going to produce offensively and just be more productive. So we'll see if they can do exactly that. We have a 17-minute timeout break. We'll take a step aside ourselves here on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. More action to come after this. We are back after halftime and ready to go for your second half of play in tonight's high school football contest between the Gulf Coast Sharks and the Riverdale Raiders. It's a 32-7 Gulf Coast advantage, and we are set to go. Kickoff is made here by J.P. D'Alessandro, the Riverdale Raiders kicker. Gulf Coast will be on the return. Return man on the play. Look to be Carson Janal. Ball laid out at the 30-yard line as Gulf Coast will be moving from left to right across your computer screen. And quarter number 3 of action, Riverdale will be the team in motion from right to left. Well, Riverdale, it makes you wonder what's going through their mind right now. They're down 32-7 yet again. And you can bet right now, head coach Tom Roselle for the Riverdale Raiders, he is telling this team to not back down, keep getting those reps in, keep scoring points up on the board. And right now, Riverdale just led up a huge play there, as coming up with a nice play was DeMarcus Townsend, the junior wearing number 8. And the interesting thing is that prior to the game, just earlier today, there was a flag on the play. Well, it is going to be second down here for Gulf Coast, depending on who this penalty is going to land against. Right now, Jalen Cochran of Riverdale, he's throwing his hands up in the air. He's not too sure what's going on. He's upset. Paul Johnson sharing a word with him as the officials continue to discuss out this play. So it is going to be a waved off flag. Well, the interesting thing that I was just discussing just moments ago, prior to the game, I downloaded a Gulf Coast roster, one from this season off of the internet. It seems like prior to the game, however, there were a few changes and numbers.
He didn't let him go either.
So during halftime, I was able to get an official stat sheet up here in the press box, and one that was up to date, courtesy of our public address announcer. And he was able to fix the problem.
You have to check Tatum, man. This is what
It's now third down here, so one name I've been saying often is Diego Gutierrez. It's interesting because the one I printed offline, it says number 8, Diego Gutierrez for Gulf Coast. The most recent one, prior to the game where there were switches, number 8 is DeMarcus Townsend. Pass down the far end across the 50-yard line. It appears that this was reeled in by Carson Janal. And Carson Janal wearing number 10, just as we mentioned he was all night long, so that was an accurate number, but we apologize for any inconveniences as there is a holding call coming up against Gulf Coast, so that ball is coming all the way back into Shark zone. So once again, we apologize for any inconveniences, but it appears that the Sharks made some last-second changes prior to the ball game today. So the one I printed online isn't the same roster that they are going by tonight when it comes to the players matching up to the numbers. So once again, seems like the Sharks just had a few players switch around, and we have the problem fixed up. Big thanks to our public address announcer here at Riverdale High School for spotting out the problem and coming up with a nice quick solution. Just before the third down snap here for Gulf Coast, there is going to be a whistle and yet another stoppage. Just underway here in quarter number 3, 10 minutes and 31 seconds left. It's a Riverdale disadvantage 32-7 as Gulf Coast is on top. Shotgun snap from the quarterback, Caden Frost. Throwing it off of his left hand as he was running up against the far side. That pass is incomplete as he airs it out to the Gulf Coast benches. Third down has come up here for the Sharks. Thank you all for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for half number 2 and your third quarter of tonight's action between Riverdale and the Gulf Coast Sharks. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play action and what has been a very lopsided blowout of a game. Gulf Coast, they have just been taking advantage of the miscues of the Riverdale defense ever since offensive drive number 1. Once again, this is a Class 7A District 12 rival contest. The winner of this game has a nice chance at taking home the district title. In fact, they will be one game away from the district championship. This is picked away down the near side. That player goes, as picking it off was Roy Alexander for the Riverdale Raiders. Down the near side to the 20 he goes, and Riverdale is starting to feel alive. So that was a very interesting play. Roy Alexander just got right in the way between quarterback and wide receiver. The intended receiver was Carson Janal. Running down the center of the field, Alexander takes advantage of the pass. There was nowhere near enough power behind the throw to get to the distance where Janal was running. It was too short. Alexander finds himself in the right place at the right time. He picks it away to 50, drives it down to around the 25-yard line. Riverdale starts their first offensive drive of the third quarter with a handoff up the middle to Malcolm Spencer. And that's going to be a loss of about 2 on the play as the Gulf Coast line shuts them down immediately. Ulmer back in the gun. These two quarterbacks, they have been in the shotgun for the entire game. Both Caden Frost and Danny Ulmer. Here's a screen. Far side. Nice situation here. Coming up with the ball in his arms with Malcolm Spencer. And he finds himself in a mosh pit over there. He's just getting shoved all around. There's the stop for the third down, and about 6 to go for the fresh new set.
Yeah, that's his problem. He don't shake. He just runs straight.
Nice situation there for Danny Ulmer.
Not on first down, man.
Takes the snap, goes for the screen as a little bit of a last resort as the Gulf Coast defense was in the middle of a blitz and he was just trying to find a quick solution, It was either throw it out of bounds or try to find the man open. So right decision there by Ulmer, who had to make a very quick split-second decision. Quarterback keeper follows up here for Ulmer. Nowhere near enough for the first down. So it's down number 4 here for Riverdale across the Gulf Coast 25. Looks like Riverdale is going to go for it, and of course that's the logical thing to do. They are down by 25. Left in your third quarter. It's 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Riverdale, they're just desperate to come up with points.
I swear I wish I had this line when I played.
Ulmer sets up at the 30, downfield, cut by Deshaun Lane at the 10. He's able to hold on at the center of the field as Deshaun Lane takes off yet again with a clutch play when Riverdale needs him the most. Deshaun Lane, the wide receiver wearing number 5, he is credited for the lone touchdown that Riverdale has thus far here on the evening.
Quarterback, you need to keep it here, quarterback. Run a read option. Keep it, though.
Well, more about the shotgun formation in just moments. Here's Spencer with the carry. Near side, does he get enough for the touchdown? No, he's tackled inside the 5 up against the left sideline. Well, the reason why these two quarterbacks want to keep on hammering in these shotgun formations is because it just takes a few more seconds for them, or it takes a few less seconds, rather, to set up. They're further away from the defense, so they're able to quickly take that snap, set up, and get the ball off their hands. Whereas when you're in the under center, you have to quickly drop back, and it just takes a few more seconds. You're much closer to the defense. Incomplete pass up against the far side. Wide receiver was in double coverage. Fans begging for a flag. However, they are not going to get what they want. Third down, Raiders. Inside the enemy 10. Hoping to drag in their second touchdown of the game. Big play here for Ulmer. Awaiting the snap at the 10.
Look like it's one-on-one. They sending them.
The snap. It's going to be a pass up ahead. Throw to the end zone. Is it going to be a touchdown? It sounds like it is. It's 11:52 at night. We have a touchdown Raiders. The cannon goes off. And what a play coming in there from, I believe it was Deshaun Lane. His second touchdown of the night up the far side. He was really struggling to come up with possession as he was running out of bounds, but he comes up with the amount that he needs for the 6 points. The extra point is good from J.P. D'Alessandro. So it's now a 32-14 Riverdale disadvantage as the touchdown comes with 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here in your third quarter of play. Fans livened up a bit here at Karl Engel Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. We'll see if Riverdale can keep this advantage going after the break. They are down, but it looks like they're feeling positive. They're feeling like a brand new team. Let's see if they can use that as their advantage after this quick break. Here in your third quarter of play, 6:25 is what remains here. Once again in quarter number 3, 32-14 is the score as Riverdale is down, but certainly not out after Deshaun Lane is able to be credited for his second touchdown of the night. Both of the 2 touchdowns for Riverdale came from Lane. Well, Gulf Coast will head back to the offense and hope to silence the Riverdale team and the fan section as well. And speaking of silenced, you may be wondering, well, where's that lively Gulf Coast band that we have been hearing back in the first half? They are not here. They have already departed, and they actually did that before halftime. Not too sure of the exact reason why. However, if there is one thing I know, Gulf Coast made the long road trip all the way from down south in Naples, which is almost an hour away from Riverdale. And since this game got off to a late start at around 10 p.m., you can imagine that the band has decided to head home. They have a long road trip ahead of them. But hey, so does this Gulf Coast football team, but they're still taking care of business out there on the field and on the scoreboard. 32-14 is once again your updated score. An advantage of Gulf Coast, hoping to extend the lead. Here's Caden Frost. Fake handoff, pass up to the 35, down the center of the field is the wide receiver, Carson Janal, with the first down across the 45-yard line on the Gulf Coast end. Well, if there's one thing that I've noticed from the Sharks Ball Club is that they love to just play fast. If there's one thing that they love to do, it's try to throw off the Riverdale defense in the quickest amount of time possible. So all kinds of play actions are being put into effect. You have wide receivers switching all down the field. Ooh, rough play coming out there, far side to the 40. There's a loss on the play, big hit on the ball carrier, DeMarcus Townsend.
I told you that band over there took y'all out of the game. That 300 people out there.
And I will tell you, ever since that band left, it sounds very silent here compared to then. Right now, it seems like the Riverdale band, they're on break as well.
Yeah, third quarter they get a break.
Third quarter, band gets a break every game. So it's very different, I'll tell you that. Here's a screen pass to the 35, to the 40, 45 to the 50. Big run here for Gulf Coast, near side to the Raider 40-yard line. It's Townsend with yet another carry. No flags on the play, and that's a first down, Gulf Coast. And there is a flag on the play. It's a holding going against the Gulf Coast offense.
All the way back.
It's right there.
No matter, it ain't a first down. Blocking the back.
Right there, right?
Well, things certainly have not gone Riverdale's way tonight. Let's see where the ball is going to be spotted here as a result of that penalty. The holding called just moments ago against the Gulf Coast offense. It's scooted back to the 38 in the Gulf Coast end. Well, Riverdale, they return home to Karl Engel Field tonight after being defeated in a close matchup last Friday night to the Ida Baker Bulldogs by a 2017 final score. More info on that game in just a few seconds as Gulf Coast is forming up a play. 5:20 on a rolling clock left here in your third.
They're going to get delayed. Come on. Delay.
There's a blow of the whistle. Play clock rolls out. Gulf Coast is not able to put a timeout on the field on time, so as a result, back goes the ball 5 yards yet again to the 34 of the Gulf Coast zone. Gulf Coast with the ball, 32-14 lead is in their hands. Well, it was homecoming night at Ida Baker. More about that in moments. Across the 40 to the 45. The wide receiver, George Takax, was able to come up with the reception, but his knee was down, his left knee to be exact, and the officials caught that. It was a little bit of a delayed reaction, however, they caught it. It's third down and long for Gulf Coast. Back to their 38 the ball goes. Well, The Raiders hope to spoil the special night for Ida Baker. However, the Bulldogs scraped together a victory after RHS kicker J.P. D'Alessandro had his tying field goal attempt blocked with 50 seconds remaining in regulation. Shotgun snap. Third down for Gulf Coast. Slung to the far side. On to the Sharks bench it goes, incomplete. Where the Gulf Coast Sharks were not able to capitalize, and it's now fourth down. They are stranded in their own zone. Well, D'Alessandro, back in last week's game, he had his tying field goal attempt blocked with 50 seconds left in regulation. The Ida Baker defense forced 2 blocked field goals in that game, and RHS looked like a much more solid product in that matchup compared to the beginning of the season, and you can expect them to get very serious in the second half of this ball game as well. They're not going to back down. They're going to keep putting points up no matter how far down the deficit is, because they know they could be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss to Gulf Coast. There is a punt on the way from the Sharks down to the Riverdale own 25, and that is where the Raider offense will retrieve the ball. The Sharks are coming into tonight's contest with some momentum from last week after they blew out the Estero Wildcats, and that was on the road by a 26-0 final score. Exactly 4 minutes left to play here in your third, and Gulf Coast, I guess you could say that they have the game in the bag. If they can keep that style of play up like they have all throughout the course of the game, they have a nice blend of offense and defense, Gulf Coast. Out comes Danny Ulmer, handoff to Spencer, cruising up the left side, tries to get across the 30, but it would not go. It's second down. And Riverdale in last week's game, that was one of their better performances. They went against a strong Ida Baker team, and offense and defense certainly showed up. This Riverdale defense that you see in today's game, this is the same defense that limited Ida Baker to just 42 total rushing yards last week. Second down. There's a fake. Ulmer up the middle with the quarterback keeper. He will be stopped just shy of the 35-yard line, and there is a flag after the whistle. And right now there is some controversy as to what this is going to be. Right now all the officials are gathering together.
After the play was ruled down, personal foul against the Raiders.
It is a personal foul call, a block in the back against the Riverdale Raiders, and that spots the ball all the way back at their own 20-yard line.
Right in front of this official.
It'll be third down and 18 ball at the Raider 19-yard line.
So back to the 19, the ball is going to be officially spotted as we head down towards your final minutes of this third quarter.
But we can't even run a counter right. Who knows we're going to screen right.
If you put him in the shotgun, that means pass. Keep the guys from walking up.
Screen, far side for Ulmer. He's able to connect with his man across the 25. That player goes, and it's Dante Quintello with the reception. Short gain on the play, and it's fourth and long for Riverdale. Right now, Gulf Coast, they have this game, so Riverdale, you can bet they're just going to go for it here on fourth down. It only makes sense that they would go for it, but let's see. Let's wait for it. You can never be too sure.
That's true. You're 100% right about that. But no, I think I kind of know my coach. He's cutting this thing. Every time we face this one, we face it by ourselves. Man. We got in trouble for that.
It is going to be a punt. That's one thing I've learned, you can never be too sure. So, yet again, Daniel Ulmer punts it away to the 45, far side. Nice return here for Gulf Coast across the 40. As coming up with a nice hustle was Carson Janal.
Back into Raider territory.
Somebody got wiped.
Shot cover ball. First to 10, Raider.
A minute 45 left here in your third.
38-yard line.
Fans still out here having a great time. Ball at the 38-yard line in the Riverdale zone. Well, every game is a learning experience here for the Riverdale Raiders. And it doesn't matter if you're on top, blowing out your opponent, or maybe you're getting blown out by your opponent. But either way, Riverdale, they sure can learn a thing or two out of this game by going up against Gulf Coast. They're facing a difficult and talented offense. This is just an overall team that is stacked with talent. Gain of 2 on the way down the center of the field. Townsend with the carry on that previous play.
Worry about the rest of the schedule. That'll play out. We don't worry about this game there, fellas. Put yourself for this game.
Snap throw down the center of the field. Trying to deal it in was Carson Janal, who does so successfully to the 35 at the center of the field, and he was just bobbling that ball all around before he was able to finally hold on, and he takes a big hit from behind. Third down for the Gulf Coast Sharks in the Raider end at the 35. 32-14, Gulf Coast on top, and there's yet another offsides call coming on the way for Riverdale.
Offsides. Go! 5 yards.
And once again, you talk about just silly mistakes there by the Raider team. Let's see what the chain gang is going to do here as a result of that penalty. It's going to be first down, actually, believe it or not. So first and 10, ball on the 30-yard line here for the Gulf Coast Sharks. Shotgun formation, clock is back to running, down to 30 seconds. It's going to be a handoff, trying to beat around the bushes. Launcini Kita, who is pushed out of play for the stop, up against the far sidelines. 17 seconds left. It's possible that perhaps the Gulf Coast Sharks are going to go for one last play. Down to 10 seconds. They're in a great situation to extend their lead. You can bet they're just going to try to keep piling it on. Well, they're going to hold back. That is the end of your third quarter of play. And we say good morning to you live from Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. It's the first time I have ever said that before as a broadcaster for Riverdale High School. Never before have I called a game that has went past midnight, but tonight is one of those nights. It is 12:08 a.m., just a little over 2 hours into this ball game. So we truly thank you all for being loyal, dedicated supporters of Riverdale High School. You have to appreciate all these fans on hand who are still watching the game. Thank you all for listening, and we hope that you will stay tuned for this fourth quarter. It's 32-14, Gulf Coast over Riverdale. Your fourth and final portion of play is on the way right after this. We have now approached your final 12 minutes of regulation. It's the start of the fourth quarter, as Riverdale is down to the Gulf Coast Sharks by a 32-14 show on the board. Gulf Coast tries to put an extra 6 up there. It will not be done, however. There is a nice pass going all the way down to the goal line. I want to say that was Carson Janal coming up with a catch. There was a face mask call going against the Sharks offense, so that ball may be coming back. And right now it appears that Carson Janal is shaken up after taking a hard hit. He was immediately dragged down after reeling in the pass, and the Raider team takes a knee. And that's something that you really have to respect from the Riverdale Ball Club. It doesn't matter who it is down on the field. And
10 is down.
Yeah, he's down. That's big for Gulf Coast.
well, I'm just really shocked. Well, Riverdale, like I was trying to mention, it doesn't matter who it is down on the field. They are a team that they love to show respect, And I believe they played a game of football right, in my honest opinion. Well, right now, yes, once again, that is number 10, Carson Janal. Shaken up, he is helped back up, and it looks like that's actually number 3 who is shaken up, correction. So the catch was made by Maddox Kintz, number 3, and he was the one shaken up, excuse me there. So Kintz is going to be assisted to the sidelines, off to the far side of my broadcast position. And keep in mind there was that face mask call going against Gulf Coast, so as a result, that catch all the way down to the Raider 5 is going to be dragged back towards midfield. This is Nick Rush giving you the call of tonight's events at Riverdale High School, Karl Engel Field in Fort Myers, Florida. 10:11 a.m. here in Southwest Florida after this game originally began at 10 p.m. It was originally slated for a 7:30 p.m. start time. However, at 10 p.m., there is no more lightning in the area. And the interesting thing was that there was not a single drop of rain. So it wasn't a rain issue, but it's the lightning that really makes people afraid here in the Southwest Florida region. Second down pass is incomplete, right into the hands and right back out of an intended receiver, Carson Janal. Third down, back at the 45 on the Gulf Coast end is where the ball is spotted.
I didn't see it. I'm trying to figure out where it was.
Here in Southwest Florida, weather can be unpredictable, lightning can be unpredictable, so here all around Lee County on school campuses they have the lightning alarms. Almost every Lee County school, for a matter of fact, has a lightning alarm. And if there's ever lightning that is detected within a 10-mile radius, then players and fans, almost everyone, is instructed to get out of the bleachers and take cover. Incomplete pass coming up here once again for Carson Janal, far side. And this is going to be a punting situation for Gulf Coast. They will do exactly that, as the kicker Nate Elgin will be back out on the field. He'll be booting this up at the 35, center of the field. This one doesn't get too far down. In fact, it gets to the 35 on the Raiders' end before it tumbles out of play. Well, I remember walking into Karl Engel Field prior to the game. Actually, this was at around 8 o'clock, around 8:30, around that time, somewhere in between those two time periods. But around that time, the game was still under a lightning delay, and there was plenty of cloud coverage, and then the all clear sign was given by the lightning alarm. So basically what happens is once lightning is detected and people are instructed to stay indoors, if there goes 30 minutes without lightning, that's when people are able to come back out and get this football game started. Now, if the clock is ticking down, the 30-minute time period, and lightning strikes, then that is when the clock restarts. Deshaun Lane is the intended receiver on the play here. Opening play of the offensive drive for Riverdale. Deshaun Lane down to the 40 on the inside lane. A defenseman crashes over him, and there is a flag on the play as the ball rolls out of play harmlessly. It appears that this will be an interference call going against Gulf Coast. As a result, ball is spotted at the halfway marker of the field. That makes it a Raiders automatic first down.
I don't know what, you gotta be roughing the passer.
I know, number 2 that played perfect defense. He couldn't play no better.
And before the game started, it was havoc. Players made it out on the field, and then the lightning alarm went off. And this was around, once again, 8:30. When players were out on the field, they were ready to go. They were already delayed 1 hour. Here's a carry on the way to Malcolm Spencer, cruising off to his right side up in front of the Raider benches, and he is laid out at the 45. That brings up 2nd and long for the Riverdale Raiders. 10:48 on a rolling clock, left in regulation. Raiders down 32 to 40, or excuse me, 32 to 14 rather. A little bit of a slip of the tongue there. Well, the players were out after an hour-long delay, and they were just about set to get things going until the lightning alarm went off a second time, and the delay carried through all the way to around 10 o'clock where we were finally able to get this game underway. So for those tuning in towards the later stages of the game, that is how we started, and that's the reason why we are playing so late here at Karl Engel Field. To the 47-yard line is where Spencer is going to carry the ball as he has another opportunity at it. And another short gain follows up. Less than 10 minutes to play here in the 4th. Third down, Ulmer rolling out to the 40. His pass is completely swallowed up. It's swatted away. As denying that pass was Brandon Hannon, number 80 of the Gulf Coast Sharks. And it's 4th down for the Raiders. It appears that the punt team is going to be coming out. When you're down by such a large amount, it makes you wonder why they would want to go for a punt. It just seems like the reasonable thing to go for the 4th down, try to get opportunities, and try to come up with some smart ideas. There's the snap. Ulmer, the quarterback, delivers the kick from the 30, goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast 30. On the return was Caden Cecil, who's immediately blocked down to the field with 9:29 left. It's been a frustrating game. Riverdale, they've been quickly worn out. And Gulf Coast in that first quarter, they just immediately went to work. They shut down the Riverdale offense on a 3-and-out to start the game. Gulf Coast gets on the offense, and they quickly put up 6 on the scoreboard. And they just keep making things happen, both defensively and offensively. You need that great balance on a team if you want to keep delivering win after win. Miscommunication here on the offensive line. Frost with the snap. And here's Townsend with the carry, trying to get away from Raider defenseman, running to his right side up the far end across the 35. And he is going to be halted at around the 35. This 4th quarter has seen a lot of crazy running, I will tell you that. Right now it seems like Gulf Coast are starting to really take it a bit easier here on the Riverdale Raiders. They know they have this game in the bag. So now's the time to really try out new things, and for the Riverdale Raiders, it's time for them to just experiment out there on the field. Don't be afraid to switch things up if you're either one of these teams out there. Try something new. Try to make it work. You also have to determine where did things go wrong as Carson Janal comes up with a catch shy of the 40-yard line. 3rd and 7 for the Gulf Coast offense, who are stuck in their own zone. Shotgun snap and the carry up the middle. This will not be enough for a 1st down. It's a 3-and-out for the Gulf Coast offense. As yet again, it was Townsend on to rush. When it comes to the big running backs in this ball game, of course, for Riverdale, it's Malcolm Spencer, and for the Sharks, it's DeMarcus Townsend. They have been getting the ball in their hands all night long. They have been coming up with those nice plays, quick speed all game long. And that's the reason why they're getting a large amount of attention out there on the field. Now it looks like a Riverdale player has collapsed on the defensive line. currently holding on to his left leg there. And out come the Riverdale trainers. Certainly not something you want to see. It was not something that was right after the play. That player, he was lined up, and it does appear to be a cramp. That does make sense. And just like that, he's quickly back up on his feet as well. Quite a few players shaken up in tonight's ball game, but it seems like almost every single one quickly gets back up. Andres Bartley was the one who went down there with the cramp, and he will head to the benches. So meanwhile, it's 4th down for the Gulf Coast offense, under 8 minutes to spare in the game. 4th down conversion. Caden Frost, shotgun, play action, pass up the middle. That's caught across the 50. Carson Janal across the Raider 40 for the fresh new set of downs, Gulf Coast. Ball at the Raider 41-yard line. Well, Riverdale has certainly struggled to gather wins over the past couple of weeks, and it seems as if their issue is working on preventing those ill-advised turnovers. Frost with a rush. Going up to the far side, it's Townsend across the 40. He won't get too far before being shoved out of bounds. 2nd down for the Sharks. Well, at the start of the season, it seemed like the Raiders could easily push the ball into their attacking end, but the offense would just fall apart from there. Once you get into enemy territory, you shouldn't have to change things up if you're smoothly making your way downfield. At least that's the way I think.
You're right, he can read number 30 if he throw the ball. Number 30 is his read.
And if things don't work out and it's 4th down, you have a great kicker in J.P. D'Alessandro as well for Riverdale. And complete pass makes it down number 3 as Carson Janal has the ball stripped out of his hands up the far end. Once again, J.P. D'Alessandro, he can easily bury one in between the uprights if you're inside the 25-yard line, and there have been instances on where he has nailed field goals from an even further range. So J.P. D'Alessandro, a very talented kicker for the Riverdale squad. 12:23 a.m. here at Riverdale. Latest game of the season. Pass up the far end across the 40-yard line. Keita had the ball in his hands. Whether it is an official complete pass or not, I'm not sure. It looks like that is going to be the case, but it's 4th down either way.
You can run it. I ain't see this right here.
4th down and 6. Ball on to Raider 38. And Gulf Coast is going to punt it away. Lightning is starting to flash across the sky right now. And at this moment, I'm pretty sure most people in attendance at the game really don't mind if there are streaks of lightning across the sky. Of course, it's pretty concerning, but if lightning gets within a 10-mile radius, here's a touchback for Riverdale as they will start at their own 20. Well, if lightning comes within a 10-mile radius by the end of this ball game, then that will signal an end to this ball game. Well, there's an official's water break here with 5:51 left in the 4th, 32-14 Gulf Coast over Riverdale. And right now, Riverdale, they've had a tough, long night. They're playing in the early morning at this point. They're just ready to get these final minutes out of the way.
Your phone there. We ain't got nothing to plug it up.
So they'll take a breather in this timeout, and they'll quickly make their way back out. It seems like in every single timeout, whether it's a water break, a Riverdale timeout, a Gulf Coast timeout, the Sharks are always the first team to get out there. Riverdale, they seem to take more time on the sidelines, forming up a game plan or catching a break, getting hydrated, whatever it may be. Well, here we go. Under 6 minutes to play, Riverdale back with the ball.
You gotta throw it right.
Ulmer dropping back to the 10, taking matters into his own hands to the 25 down the center of the field, and he quickly gets back up. Short gain on the play. Daniel Ulmer, a very strong, agile quarterback, and it really depends on the situation, but sometimes it's a little bit scary to see a quarterback go for a rush. He can easily get hit. And you should see the way those defensemen look at the quarterback when he's on the quarterback keeper. They look at that quarterback like he's a piece of meat or something like that. They go right after him. So we've seen some crazy hits come out of the quarterback keeper. But Daniel Ulmer really makes things look well.
23, catching the ball. 25.
Nice catch there from Roy Alexander up the near side. That's a first down, Riverdale.
Watch the 44 now. That should be your read. 1, 2.
Ulmer, 25, and he's tripped up. Wow, nice opportunity opened up immediately for Trey Prater, the senior defensive lineman for Gulf Coast. He immediately trips up Ulmer at the ankles. Ulmer had absolutely no time to react.
He take 2 steps and then he tried to get in his zones, but that's too late.
Ball behind the Raider 30-yard line. Riverdale offense with possession.
If you don't throw this ball to number 3 quarterback, number 4, you ain't doing nothing.
Screen to the left side of Ulmer. This is a nice carry on the play. It's a first down to the 45-40, and that man goes out of play. Impressive carry by Jalen Cochran. It started out as an innocent screen. It appeared as if maybe it would be a very short gain on the play, but he breaks 1 tackle. Then he breaks 2 tackles, and the next thing you know, he's off to the races for the first down. Ball out of the play, so that will stop the clock again. Raiders taking it 1 play at a time here, not giving up in this ball game.
Fourth quarter, I try to play by the rules.
Throwing it downfield, Deshaun Lane all the way to the Gulf Coast 35, and he'll pick up yet another fresh first down for the Riverdale Raiders. It's been a rough ball game if you're a Riverdale fan, and this has been a game that goes later and later into the night. We are now past 12:30. We thank you all for tuning in, and what has been an intense game.
Past your bedtime.
Far side to the 30, there's another catch, and right now the Riverdale offense is starting up a little bit of a hot streak out there on the offense when it comes to the receptions, as Roy Alexander comes up with the catch. 2nd and 5. Raiders trying to charge towards the end zone. They have to take the shots. They need to take the opportunities. Let's see if they can get on the board at least one more time. Pass up ahead, incomplete to Alexander. Into the hands and right back out as he was being heavily guarded by a Gulf Coast defenseman all the way through. And would you believe that Gulf Coast has had some injury concerns coming into this ball game? You certainly would not have thought it by how dominant they have been. It's still 32-14 Gulf Coast, but although Gulf Coast, they still have an awesome offense coming into this matchup. Right from the start, they had to find a way to score without leading rusher and wide receiver Daniel Rendon for the 2nd straight game due to injury. More about Rendon in moments. 3rd down for the Raider offense, 35. Ulmer going deep downfield. Is it caught? It looks like there's a pass interference. Fans are on their feet. Deshaun Lane says he has control. Is there an official call, though?
That's the pass interference on the defense, though. That's 6 on.
Right now, the officials, they are discussing this, and it is a touchdown. It's Deshaun Lane. Touchdown number 3 on the night for Lane. Near side, gets all the way down to the corner, reels it in, and that penalty is going to be declined as it is a defensive interference.
Okay, you already put the score out there.
And that tally comes with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Deshaun Lane goes back to the benches, energized. Raiders have put up 3 touchdowns, and J.P. D'Alessandro is 3 for 3 on the night when it comes to PATs. It's not so bad right now for Riverdale. These brave fans, these diehard fans, I guess you could call them at this point, they're out here. They're having an awesome time right now. They're up on their feet. They're still supporting their Raiders. You just have to give them applause for sticking out here through all those weather delays, for sticking through all of these rough moments in the game for Riverdale. But they have been out here still cheering on the team, and Riverdale, they truly are lucky to have a great amount of fan support. Riverdale, they're right back out there on the field. J.P. D'Alessandro already has the ball set up at the 40. And Gulf Coast follows out. Well, we were just talking a few moments about the Gulf Coast injury concerns and how Daniel Rendon is out for the second straight game. Without Rendon last week in the Sharks' 26-0 shutout versus Estero, here's a squib going to the 45, and it's going to be quickly hopped on by the Sharks as they take over at their own 45. Well, DeMarcus Townsend took over in his place and rushed for a total of 115 yards along with a pair of touchdowns. Both Townsend and Rendon are running backs that both usually see action in every single game. And thus far in the year, they have combined for 781 yards and 12 touchdowns. And it's another multiple touchdown game for Townsend.
Now they're going to make y'all use your timeouts if they pass.
You know they're going to get a quarterback run pass option. They can run the ball easily.
Frost in the shotgun formation. Ball spotted at the Gulf Coast 45. He awaits the snap at the 40. Frost to the 50. Pass is going to be complete up against the far side to the 40, to the 35. That man is stripped to the ground. William hoops, and it's brought down to the 5-yard line. That player ran down the far side, somehow breaking past a tackle that should have been perfectly executed by the Riverdale defense. The man breaks loose. And it's actually Ryan Karl that was on the carry there, number 28. It gets all the way down to the 5-yard line, so the fight in Gulf Coast is not dead just yet. They may be up by 11 points at the moment, with less than 3 minutes ago. They may have this game in the book, but they're certainly not playing like it. Rush going up to Karl yet again, and he is stopped right on the line of scrimmage. That's a Gulf Coast second down.
Score 14-14.
Well, as we head towards the end of this contest, it's time to tell you about the next game that these two teams will participate in. After tonight, the Raiders will rest up and hit the road for their next contest on Friday, November 7th, when they go head-to-head against the DeSoto County Bulldogs. Kickoff for that event will take place at 7:30 p.m., more in just a moment after this snap. Handoff. The Karl, touchdown, Gulf Coast. And it was Launcini Kita coming up with the run-in correction there. And that now makes it a 38-21 Gulf Coast lead with 2 minutes and a second left here in the game. A successful PAT will put Gulf Coast here by 18. That will put them up by 18. Out comes Elgin, who perfectly executes that ball in between the uprights. Well, the Riverdale next home game will be the final one of the 2016 regular season, believe it or not. And that will take place on October 28th when the Fort Lauderdale Westminster Academy Lions come to town for a 7:30 p.m. meeting. Gulf Coast will also see action next Friday night when they travel to visit the Barron Collier Cougars at 7 p.m. That will be the third matchup of a 3-game road trip that the Sharks are currently on. The Sharks are a team that really put a lot of effort into each and every game, whether they're at home or on the road. They just put 100% into every single game. They let nothing stop them out there. Out comes Gulf Coast. 2 minutes left to play in this game. This may be the last drive of the competition.
Golf.
Many fans have already started to head to the exits. The Riverdale band, long ago, earlier back here in the fourth quarter, they already departed for the night. Wow, what a night. Once again, this is the first time in 2016 that a game has went past midnight for Riverdale. It has happened last season, however, in the game against Palmetto Ridge, and that was back in week 1 of 2015. As Alexander brings it all the way up to the 15-yard line, up the near side, he is stopped with a $1:56 left in the game. And it really makes you wonder if this really was the best situation. Either way, I believe that Gulf Coast, they are just a talented ball club. But it makes you wonder, would this game be any different if it were played Saturday morning, Monday night? It just makes you wonder. But yet again, I do believe that Gulf Coast, they are a talented team, and if you overestimate them, then they're going to quickly get to work and prove you wrong. So either way, I believe that Gulf Coast, whether they would be playing on a Saturday morning or a Monday night, they would come out swinging right off the gates and try to get that win. Here's an incomplete pass deep down the center of the field, second down for the Raiders, as Deshaun Lane was the intended receiver. Coming in from the near side. Gulf Coast fans beginning to rise to their feet. Ulmer is sacked at the 15. And Riverdale, they're still being very preservative of the clock. They are trying to save it. They're not trying to just carelessly waste out time and try to get to the end of this game. They're still putting in plays. They're still trying to improve and put that work in. All right. So Riverdale now is going to call a timeout. 95 seconds left in the game.
So you feel
Actually, I think you can do both.
I feel softball. Since I left 2010, you was a softball.
Oh, what a game it has been. It's been a long night here in the press box at Riverdale High School. Many of the press members have been here for hours and hours and hours.
I'll be his producer.
Yeah, you'll be his
I'll be a spotter.
Same as these fans, too. I'll just tell you that. But I'm just speechless by how tonight has gone. It was a very wonderful day, I'll tell you that. 3 o'clock p.m. It was blue skies ahead. Blue skies ahead, and then by around 5 o'clock, the weather took a turn for the worse, and it remained that way till around 8:30. And there was still lightning in the area at around 8:30. Here's a pass down the middle. Well, this late ball game is certainly taken a lot out of all of us. I'm sure it's taken a lot of energy out of you listening at home. And complete pass makes it 4th down. Yet again, attended to Deshaun Lane. A minute, 32 seconds left. Riverdale, they're going to go for it. It's fumbled away. And that's going to be the quarterback, Ulmer, hopping on top of it at the 15. And it's 1st and 10 for the Gulf Coast Sharks. So let's see what type of approach Gulf Coast is going to take here, whether they're just going to try to run it out, hand it off, or throw for it.
That's what I asked some of these teams that are winning.
It can really go either way here. 39-21 is the score. Gulf Coast over Riverdale. A minute 28 left in the game. This one is just about in the books. And it appears that Gulf Coast is going to take the knee at the Riverdale 10-yard line. Coming down on the left knee is the quarterback, Frost. And we are now down to a minute 17 left. Like I said, it's been a long night for everyone, so it's just a smart decision to really kneel it down. So they're just going to keep putting the knee down, and that's going to bring us towards a conclusion of today's broadcast on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Gulf Coast milking as much time out of the clock as possible. Down goes the knee. And one more should put this game officially to an end. Down to 30 seconds is your fourth quarter clock.
I blew it after 25. Can I get my bag?
So one more knee, and that's officially going to do it. And what a night it's been here at Karl Engel Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. This game starts at 10 a.m. and it officially ends at 12:42 p.m. What a day here at Riverdale High School. What a night, rather. Day turns into night. None of us expected this to happen, but once again, 39-21 as your score as Gulf Coast beats out Riverdale in this Class 7A District 12 rival matchup. Well, we're going to head towards a quick conclusion of the broadcast. We'd just like to say thank you all for staying up. For many of you, maybe it's past your bedtime, but thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the fans for showing up and staying until the conclusion of this game. These are some great Riverdale fans. So, that's going to do it for today. We appreciate you for listening in. As for now, we hope you have a safe Saturday and a great start to your weekend. Have a good night, everybody.